Hey, it's Adam Lavelle of KnuckleTFUp.com. You're going to find most of my opinions and videos and thoughts on my Facebook page. So if you aren't following me there, please follow me on Facebook. I'm keeping the Twitter page. I'm on YouTube, of course. But I post more, I talk more, I opine more, I offer more on my Facebook page. Facebook.com/droppingloves. DROPPINGLOVES. Check me out there, please. Give me a follow. We're going to jump into Muay Thai fights on the Friday fights, because the Muay Thai fights are the only thing I'm really interested in, not the MMA and not the kickboxing. No offense to any of them. I'm a Muay Thai guy. Muay Thai and bare knuckle, those are the two things I'm into. And dirty boxing, of course, which to me is a little bit like Muay Thai. It doesn't, not the same. God, don't get offended and all, whacked out of your mind. No, it's not the same, but it's kind of close and I enjoy it. But Friday fights, September 5th, 2025, the Muay Thai fights kicked off with Sonnet taking on Isaku Oganawara. Okay? And pretty good fight. Sonnet came in and took control of this. He was using big head kicks and elbows. This guy, he's a master of these two maneuvers, and he used it against Ogasawara very, very well. Ogasawara could not catch up and was knocked down at the end of the first round and knocked out quickly at the beginning of the second round. Sonnet wins this, like I said, with giant head kicks and huge elbows. At one point, he had like a running elbow to the head of Ogasawara, and that's how he pretty much won it. It was brutal. It was fun. You could tell that Ogasawara isn't bad. Yeah, I still struggle with the names once in a while, guys. I'm getting there. But, like I said, he just was a step or two behind your winner, Sonnet, in the opening bout. The next fight of the Muay Thai style from one Friday fights on September 5th, that was this past Friday, this is Saturday, so let's call it yesterday, Adam, was Zhuang Jingtao taking on Taimu Hisai. Hisai controlled the pace in round one and bloodied the nose of Jingtao, and that sort of set the pace somewhat. Jingtao wasn't bad here, but he wasn't nearly as active, and he got swept off his feet more times than I could count. I don't know what that was about, but there were so many sleeps in here that Taimu was knocked down a couple times. And Hisai controlled the pace. Hisai controlled round two as well, but Jingtao showed his strength a little bit. He has a hell of a jaw. He was eating a lot of shots, but pretty much walking through them, trying to nail shots of his own. Strategy didn't work real well for him. Hisai easily won round three in this fight, but he didn't really hurt Jingtao at all. That was a problem. The theme of this bout was Hisai was dominant in a fashion, but not either wasn't quite as powerful to do anything to Jingtao, or Jingtao has one of the best jaws in the business. But your jaw doesn't really matter. It's impressive. It can make the fans cheer, and it can make me respect you for sure. But Hisai outpointed Jingtao by a lot and won unanimously. It was still an enjoyable fight overall for what it was. The next fight on Friday fight, September 5th, 2025, in the Muay Thai traditions, if you will, was Don King. That is a Thai man named Don King, not the boxing promoter Don King. Just some people are going to see this written and think, Don King? No, Don King. Took on Rustam Yunosov. Yunosov controlled round one, even though Don King pressed forward all round. Don King kept pressing in round two, but Yunosov had more strikes to give. While Yunosov is winning this after two rounds, it just feels like Don King is sort of measuring. Don King is waiting to do something. At least I find myself hoping that, Don King seems like he's not taking tons of abuse. He's taking more shots. Yunosov's winning this by points, in my opinion. Yusunev picked it up in the third round, but he didn't pick it up enough to nail a hard shot to do any real damage, and Yusunev kept his action up and controlled the fight and won this in an easy, unanimous decision, in my opinion. It wasn't an easy fight. There's a difference between an easy decision. A man scores more points than another, but both men fought well. One just fought a little bit better and won the fight unanimously. Next up was the ladies. We had Chabakawa. We had Chabakawa taking on Gushjong. For the first 2 minutes of round one, Gushjong seemed to press the fight as Chabakawa looked for her range and tried to get the pace. The last minute saw Chabakawa get much more powerful and pushing the fight forward. Solid first round. Round 2 saw Chukapawa controlling the pace of the fight, but not land any really huge shots. Kind of the theme of the night here. Goose Jung was excellent in defense and counterfighting. Very close fight after 2 rounds. Solid round 3, best of the fight for sure. Both of them went pretty well, not all out, but they really stepped it up in round 3, and the fight was much more interesting. But Chanakawa kept pressing forward. She did not have as much offense overall as Goose Jung did, at least not in my perspective. But hey, it's always up to the judges, so you never know what's going to happen. And yes, the judges didn't agree with me. They gave this to Chanakawa, which wouldn't have been my pick, but it was a split decision at least, because this was a pretty close fight. But I believed that Goose Jung won this, but the judges thought Chanakawa won it, and that's who they gave it to. Good ladies fight. I thought it was pretty good toe-to-toe stuff. Next up on Friday Night Fight, September 5th, Muay Thai was Kung Pon taking on Eldison Rodriguez. Hey, somebody's name I can actually say, Eldison Rodriguez. Kung Pon grew up loving the WWE. The commentators called that out. He was a big fan of Triple H, but wasn't too long into that. And I'm not saying he hates wrestling now or anything like that, but it wasn't much long into his life till he decided he wanted to fight for real, and he picked up Muay Thai, and here he is, and trying to work his way into one championship, right? Both fighters did well in round 1, but Kung Pon threw much more, especially head kicks and elbows. Kung Pon found his range and pace, while Rodriguez was still simply trying to work it out, trying to find his pace, trying to find his range, and Kung Pon took it to him. Round 2 was identical to the first. It was Kung Pon coming out, and again, not a big knockout here, not major damage here, but Kung Pon was controlling the fight. And that is in no way saying Rodriguez didn't have anything to offer. He did. He just clearly, as a fight fan watching this, he was trailing behind Kung Pon. Rodriguez seemed frustrated in round 3, tripping and tossing Kung Pon all over the place. I couldn't believe how often he tripped and sort of tied his feet up and caused him to fall. I saw that as frustration. There's nothing wrong with that per se, as long as it happens in the pursuit of striking one another, and you throw someone a little bit or you knock someone down. But man, did Rodriguez do this an awful lot in the 3rd round. And it went to the judges. I didn't really know who would win it. I felt Kung Pon easily won, and here I was correct. They give the win to Kung Pon by unanimous decision. Next up, from the September 5th One Championship Friday Fight show, was Nuapet taking on Ayad Abdar. Just when I was ready to say round 1 was sort of a measuring and feeling out round. That's what it felt like. It felt like both of these guys were sort of got to get the feel for it, got to get our measuring in, got to figure out what the pace is going to be. As soon as I was ready to complain and say that's what this round was about, it seems like Abdar, his punching was very hard, or Nuapet can't take a punch. And I don't think that's what it is. I think Abdar has an incredible punch. He's an Iranian guy. He wasn't jacked, but he was built solidly. Not that Nuapet wasn't, but it looked like he had the strength advantage to me. And I think he clearly did, because about 30 seconds before round 1 ended, Abdar was punching so hard he knocked Nuapet on his ass. As soon as Nuapet got up, Nampar came in, fired back, and knocked him out with a hard uppercut. They sort of fought into the corner after Nuapet worked his way back to his feet. They fought into the corner, sort of a joint fighting, so it's sort of, I'd say, even. But then, no, Abdar hit him with a big uppercut, and he was down, and he was out. And it was the birthday of Ayad Abdar. He wins his big fight on One Friday Fights over Nuapet by solid knockout, like I said, on his birthday. Pretty cool. Happy for him. The 7th Muay Thai fight was Kumawat taking on Krasana. The first round was pretty active, especially with kicks. Both landed solid shots, making the opening round difficult to call, but fun to watch. Great fight here. Round 2 saw both guys going back and forth. I mean, these guys, this fight, I'm going to go away from my notes here a little bit. This fight was very solid. It was very back and forth action. Both guys have solid chins. Neither of the guys would hit the mat, even though they were eating a ton of punishment. There was up-close phone booth fighting. There was distance strikes. There were elbows from both guys. And both guys ate them up. I can't begin to guess who was going to win this bout when it ended after 3 rounds, because, look, one of the themes of this show is nobody's getting their ass knocked out here. I mean, yeah, people have, but generally it's been rare on this show. I've seen shows where half or more of the fights were knockouts. And I love that. I enjoy it. It's just exciting to watch that kind of stuff. This show was more about guys who could take punishment. And here was another match where both guys took punishment. Komawat and Kristana took all kinds of punishment. It went to the judges, and they gave it by unanimous decision to Kristana. I don't have a problem with that. Kristana's a great fighter, but I saw this being an even fight. I thought for sure it would be split decision, but no. They saw something I didn't. Kristana wins by unanimous decision in one of the best fights of the night. Now, when I say one of the best fights of the night, that's because I still have to talk about Dead Wanlek taking on Bo Kiao. Okay? Dead Wanlek taking on Bo Kiao. And this was the co-main event of the show. Now, these two, they should have been the main event, and I'll tell you why in a minute. They're going toe-to-toe. All 3 rounds was a banger, was a rocky fight, was all the characteristics, with all of the terms you've heard people talk about things that applied to this fight. Again, the first round ended with major fighting between the two of them. I couldn't guess the first round at all. They were toe-to-toe. Round 2 saw Bo Kiao pressed the pace like crazy. He just marched forward. He took whatever shots he had to take, and Dead Wanlek gave the shots. That's for sure. He was landing. But Bo Kiao just kept coming. He didn't care. But here's the thing. When you judge a fight, when we fans look at a fight, we are impressed like crazy by the guy who presses forward no matter how much he's getting hit. The judges aren't so impressed by that. Now, on a stamina level, but I'm talking about on the cards where they're keeping score. If you're getting hit, that's going against you, brother. So if you're going to press through being hit, which I greatly appreciate because it keeps a boring fight from happening, you're risking losing because, yeah, you're pressing through. You're trying to get that one big shot. But if it doesn't come, you are in trouble. And that's what happened here. This was terrific back and forth fighting between Dead Wanlek and Bo Kiao. But look, Dead Wanlek just did a little bit more. He got more damage on his opponent, even though they were both beat to hell, even though this was the official fight of the night. This was terrific. This is why I love Muay Thai. But the judges gave it to Dead Wanlek at the end because he landed more shots. You gotta give his opponent, you gotta give Bo Kiao credit for taking the damage that he took in an attempt to win. But when you take that kind of damage going forward and you don't win, you don't get the big shots. He's getting shots, but you don't get the big one, you're going to suffer for it. And that's how Dead Wanlek won this semi-main event. Now, I mentioned this should have been the main event because, folks, look, you've heard me say it, and I mean it with all of my heart. I don't like and don't want to disrespect fighters in any way, shape, or form, but the main event was Felipe Lobo. Lobo, what a cool last name for a fighter, Lobo, right? Versus Cal Lam Dom. Now, they were raving this fight. This is a fight they've wanted to see forever. I've only been watching one Muay Thai for a short time. I love it, but it's only been a short time. That's why I'm struggling with names, and that might be part of the reason I get some downvotes here or there. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. I don't have time to sit around and study names as if I'm in a college course. I have a life outside doing this. So most of you do forgive me for it, and I appreciate it. I'm working on a Felipe Lobo versus Cal Lam Dom, and this was boring as hell, guys. Again, no disrespect to either one of them, but neither one of them wanted to get hit hard. I mean, who wants it? But you know what I mean? Neither one of them marched forward like a zombie. None of those sayings I've been saying about these other fights happened here. They both fought cautiously. They both fought at a distance. They both seemed to want to counter-strike. And when you get two fighters in there that both want to counter-strike, like they're motioning. Oh, boy, they're hot stuff because they can come on in. Come on, no motion. And sometimes the fans will pop for that. Fans like that. Oh, and he's challenging him. Well, sure he is. But the other fighter's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to feed right into your strategy. I'm going to come marching in swinging so you can counter hit me. This led to a very dull fight. I'm not going to keep talking about it because I don't want to keep insulting it. But this was a sad main event. The worst main event I've seen in one Muay Thai so far. I don't know, 4 or 5 shows that I've watched so far. The third round was the best round, but it still wasn't that exciting. It had moments of flurries. Each fighter got some flurries in. Boom, 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 back it up. Not a lot, but some. They didn't get any in the first and second round. They were just constantly at a distance trying to peck each other. It just didn't work very hard. Didn't work very well for me. I mean, they may have worked hard. I'm sure it's physical to do even what they did, but it just wasn't good. Let's see. I didn't even care who the judges picked. I didn't, but they gave it to Cal Lam Dom. He beat Lobo here, and I guess that's a big deal in some way, but One of them was ranked number 3. I should have put it in my notes which one, but after I had to watch this snooze fest, I just didn't care anymore. Because neither one of these guys after this fight deserved to be ranked number 3. They just didn't. They put on no show. They made no attempt to put on a show. And I'm sorry, as a fan, that's what I want to see. You know, I'm not Mr. Sports Illustrated sitting here looking for the sweet science in every single match where we stand back and hit each other as if we're punching bags. You know, I mentioned before that punching dummy you can get that has lights on it you can hit when they light up. That's how this came across. Like they're just trying to hit the lights on the punching dummy from a distance at not even that fast of a pace. It just wasn't great, guys. But this show, very solid. I would say this is probably my least favorite one Muay Thai Friday fight so far. I would give the show a 7 out of 10. The main event took an easy 2 points off of it. The rest of the bouts were good, but not great. There was the least amount of exciting fights on this show out of any of the other shows I've watched so far. But still, 7 out of 10, I don't consider a bad score. It just wasn't, it just didn't light me on fire the way so many of their shows have in the past. And I don't want to not make a video because I'm not rating something high and super excited about it. I'm going to make my videos and I'm going to give you the truth. Watch it. Maybe it was for you. If you're into strategical fights and slower paced fights and guys who can take punches so well that nobody hardly ever goes down, some few exceptions on this show, which is why it's got a 7, then this show would be for you. You know, we don't have to be alike, but if we are, I don't say skip it. I just say watch it knowing what it is, and it's a 7 out of 10 show, which is good, just not great. But I'm Adam Lavelle of KnuckleTFF.com. Go to my Facebook, like I said. That's where you're going to find the vast majority of my interaction on this stuff. Facebook.com/droppin, DROPPIN, no G, gloves. Droppin gloves. Hopefully I'll see you there. You can send me a friend request if you want, but if you just follow me there, all my fighting stuff, everything I post on that Facebook is only about fighting, and it's all public. So I hope to see you there, and I'll be back to talk about some more fights real soon because we've got a bare knuckle boxing show that's happening now that I'm just choosing to watch this evening, and we've got a one championship show that was on early this morning that I'm going to watch and talk about as well, as long as I have time to get these YouTube videos in and edited and uploaded before I go back to work Monday morning. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back before you know it.